This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne. What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Welcome to Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and being brought to you by our very good friends over at Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue. So again, we're getting a little lull from winter, but this might be the great time to give the folks at Marv's a call. Have them come on by, check out the heating units so they will function properly before old man winter blows through again. Marv's Plumbing and Heating of Cheyenne. Mondello's Pizzeria. You know, when the Food Network folks came by and had Joe's Pie over at Mondello's Pizzeria, they were so just, they were amazed. They were blown away by Joe's Pizza. They said, you know, this is one of the best pizzas they ever had in the U.S. So delicious that it's in the top 10 rated by the Food Network in the nation. Joe's Mondello's Pizza. Over at Mondello's Pizzeria, made the old-fashioned way, always fresh with fresh ingredients. First Year Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue. It's right across the street from Mondello's Pizzeria. Oh, by the way, open Monday through Friday. You want to talk to the folks over there about their special annual percentage yield on their CDs right now, and you'll find some pretty good deals over at First Year Bank. Lennox Auto Body has 2 locations now for 25 years. Founded by Dick Lennox and the tradition carried on by daughter Heather, they have the auto and truck repair center for you over on Dunn Avenue. They've added new bays so they can get more work done for you with great professional help. They also have the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. Medicap Pharmacy. For all your pharmaceutical needs, you contact Gene and the great staff over there with your doctor's prescription, and they will fill those said prescriptions and explain the medications to you. They also offer a convenient drive-through. Inside, you'll find plenty of sundry supplies over at Medicap Pharmacy on Bluegrass Circle. Platte Valley Bank, times 2. You have the original location over on Vanda High. You have the east side location at the corner of College and Pershing, offering all banking services possible. Platte Valley Bank. Key of Cheyenne, saying adios to the 2018 model year. 19s are arriving. You want to save some big bucks? This is the time to buy. Every time's a great time to buy over at Kia Cheyenne, but now especially with the 18s, they got to go. So talk with my good friends Greg and A.J. Miller and the entire staff over at Kia Cheyenne on Nation Way. When you go to Chick-fil-A, you always think, hey, chicken sandwich and waffle fries and a vanilla shake. Well, that's great. You can have that for lunch. You can even do that for dinner. How about for breakfast, a hash brown scramble bowl along with a cup of coffee? Yeah, they offer breakfast. Their Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, always delicious all the time. 3 squares available Monday through Saturday at Chick-fil-A, corner of Windmill and Delrange, right across from Menards. My good friends Ray and Cindy Mefford invite you to come on over to their place. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Yes, they're still having that hail of a sale. I know they didn't really need a reason to have a sale, but they got the sale going on right now. You Jayco fans, fifth wheels, travel trailers, RVs right now, you like low prices, you're going to even enjoy lower prices over at Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service. Their hail of a sale still in progress. And today, it's Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. I say no more. It's time to load up on a ton of tacos during Taco Tuesday at Taco John's of Cheyenne. And we get things underway with our scoreboard. It's being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne. Here's Nick.
Finally, after so with LCCC women's volleyball, they will be in action tonight over at the RAC. They will be hosting Western Nebraska Community College. That game will get underway at 7 o'clock, so again, go support LCCC women's volleyball again at home as they take on Western Nebraska, again, 7 o'clock over at the RAC. Also, too, with LCCC, men's and women's soccer, as I mentioned, again, both advancing to the semifinals. On Friday, both of them will play. Number 1 seed LCCC, the women's program, will take on number 3 seed Sheridan. And for the men, they will take on number 1 seed Gillette College, as LCCC will be the number 3 seed. So the women will play at 11:30 a.m. on Friday. Men will get underway at 2 o'clock. These games being played at Metro State University down in Denver, Colorado. And if either of them move on, the championship games will be on Saturday. Women's will start at 3 p.m. and men's championship will start at 5:30. Again, all games this weekend being played down at Metro State. Also, too, NHL action for tonight. Florida Panthers at Madison Square Garden taking on the New York Rangers. Columbus Blue Jackets at home at Nationwide hosting the Arizona Coyotes. Calgary Flames in Montreal taking on the Canadiens. Ottawa Senators at Canadian Tire Center hosting the Boston Bruins. San Jose Sharks on the road in Nashville taking on the Preds. Chicago Blackhawks hosting the Anaheim Ducks in the United Center. Also, too, Dallas Stars at American Airlines Center hosting the LA Kings, and the Pittsburgh Penguins on the road taking on the Edmonton Oilers. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
You give me grief on the sponsors. We're not going to be here tomorrow. We're not going to be here Thursday. So I figured I would give these guys the justice that's due to each and every one of them for being sponsors of Wyoming Sports Talk today.
All right.
Now, Major League Baseball. It's Game 1 of the Fall Classic, the World Series.
Ugh.
42 degrees right now currently at Fenway Park. It's partly cloudy.
Hopefully he just cancels the games.
Nope, it won't. Clayton Kershaw will get the call, and he will be opposed by Chris Sale, a couple of port-siders, to get things underway in Game 1 of the World Series.
What an awful World Series. Just, again, if it ends in a tie, I'll be happy. Just, if no one wins, that's a perfect scenario.
Yeah, go ahead, lip off all you want.
Do you want the Dodgers to win?
I just want to watch baseball. I don't care.
Yeah, but it's two just terrible.
I have no dogs in the fight. You know what I may do? I may just fire up some popcorn and watch the ball game.
Yeah, but again,
and not care.
The potential winners in this one to claim that they are champions for at least for this season are just two terrible teams, two terrible franchises.
Yeah, but
neither of them deserve it.
It's baseball. I don't care. All right. NBA scoreboard for this evening, or games that will be taking place in the Little Caesars Arena in Motown. The Pistons will match up with the Philadelphia 76ers. The Clippers on the road. They go to the Smoothie King Center in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. And the Denver Nuggets take their 3-0 record into play tonight. They should go 4-0 after tonight's win against the Sacramento Kings. That will be in the can at the Pepsi Center. Nuggets and Kings later on this evening. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
This is the Pepsi that's got a date with your taste buds. We're talking 1,000 bubbles dancing a two-step with you and 2 tacos at 2 a.m.
Order number 83? Come on, you're up.
This is the Pepsi that has mastered the art of the late-night munchies and is always down to dig into some deep dish.
Hey, we don't do deep dish, capiche?
Try telling that to Chicago. This is the Pepsi for po' boys, pulled pork sliders, and the godfather of all sandwiches, the Godfather. This is the Pepsi for street carts, anything a la carte, and is dying to make the leap into your grocery cart. Come on, take us home with you. This is the Pepsi for those who are forever fun. This is the Pepsi for every generation.
Fat, lazy, and stupid is no way to conduct a sports talk radio show. We've thrown down the gauntlet, upped the stakes, and made it clear that when it comes to sports talk radio in Cheyenne, there's a new player in town. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk today. Pro-Man, junior pro-man, who is going to be in the air tomorrow morning, headed towards the left coast.
Thankfully, back in the Bay Area, back where I probably should belong.
You
I'm just saying.
You have
now,
no clue the Bay Area. You weren't even from the Bay Area. I'm from the East Bay. I know it better than you.
I'd probably know it a lot better than you. I've been there more recently.
That's right.
Whether going down to San Jose, out to San Francisco to see an NFC championship.
3 airports. I can fly into San Jose, I can fly into Oakland, I can fly into San Francisco, and still dust you and know all the back roads to get to where I would need to go.
I have Google Maps for that, so I don't.
I don't even need maps. I know.
You probably do nowadays.
Like
again, the expansion and everything.
I know where my uncles are at over in, or my cousins, I should say, in San Leandro and Castro Valley. I know where my classmates are in Pittsburgh, California.
No one cares.
Yeah, so I know all the roads. It would probably take me a long time via car.
Yeah, but you're here. I'll be out there again, enjoying
the weather.
Enjoying a Warriors game, possibly, as there'll be an Oracle coming up tomorrow night. They'll take on the Washington Wizards. Whoop-de-doo, but yeah.
Hey, win's a win, right?
Gonna check out hopefully the brand new 49ers place, at least with Levi Stadium. Maybe go check out Chase Center as well, the new home for the Golden State Warriors. So at least a little sports fun for me, as I'll be out there for a wedding. So not mine, but a friend of mine, of old college roommate. So at least yes. So no shows for the rest of this week. We will be back with another one coming up on Monday of next week, but. We do have something at least going on for today, as we will have press conferences from Craig Bull, head coach of the Wyoming Cowboys. We'll hear what he has to say about the upcoming border war. It was quite a lengthy one, about 22 minutes, so we'll prepare for that one. Also, too, we will hear from head coach Vance Joseph of the Denver Broncos as they prepare for the Kansas City Chiefs, as they are on the road at Arrowhead to take on that team. And then also, too, at 4:30, as we do, we had to shift it to today since I will not be here tomorrow. We will have the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show with Neil Breen, and also, too, he will bring in forward Bryan Waters, and we'll talk with the Cheyenne Stampede, get the at least scoop on what happened this past weekend up in Casper, and also, too, talk about the one-game homestand against the Northern Colorado Eagles coming up this Friday. With also, too, that being said, as Stampede will be in Cheyenne, we'll give away a pair of tickets to go see the Stamps versus the Eagles coming up this Friday.
All right, busy day for today. Looking forward to all the good stuff.
It's always busy because you don't program it, I do.
Well, Friday, I will be at Thunder Basin in Gillette. Thunder Basin High School, the Bolts will host the Central Indians, and
a rematch.
I don't think I'm going to be by myself on that one. I think I'm going to have some help.
Do whatever. Again, I'm 1,000 miles away. I don't care.
Well, I'll actually have somebody who does a dribble and drool on there, so we'll be able to bring you the game.
How dare you say that about Chris?
I'm talking about you, pal. Anyway, so we will have that ball game for you. It looks like 5:30 pregame, kickoff 6 o'clock, and we'll have a full pregame show. Matter of fact, we're going to have all kinds of good stuff for you. Hopefully a Central win. I know it's going to be tough. I mean, there's two things. Two things are going to happen in this game. It's always tough to.
It's like climbing up Mount Everest.
No, it's always tough to beat a team twice. That's the rule of thumb.
Yeah.
So hopefully Central will get all that craziness out of their system.
And again,
from game one.
Clearly it's a different Central team than what we saw week 0 against the Thunder Basin team. Obviously, Thunder Basin is still that dominant force that we saw in week 0. They really haven't had to change a whole lot, but Central has improved. Dawson McCleary again becoming a
prolific passer.
Yeah, certainly. And again, those wide receivers. Whether it is finding Vitae or whoever among the field, or either your big man of Brady Storbo, I mean, that offense is clicking where week 0 it looked like it was just non-existent.
But here's the thing. They weren't challenged, the Bolts, last week. They're 50-0.
They haven't been challenged the entire season.
Well, they've had 3 games they got challenged. But the thing is, they didn't get challenged against Laramie last week. That's kind of like a tune-up, okay? Mm-hmm. Well, the Indians got pushed to the limit last week, at least for about 3 quarters against South. So they had to step away from being average, and they had to step up their game against the Fighting Bison. So I would hope, like I said, that the Indians are going to be a lot better prepared for the Bolts. They know what they know what Mason Hamilton can do.
Yeah.
They know what the running back can do. They got good receivers, and they got a very experienced line offensively and defensively. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be a busy night for the Indians. So 2 things are going to happen. We're either going to have a running clock because they will leave, they will forget what they're supposed to do on the bus,
And again, we've already
Thunder
seen
Basin's
that.
going to have their hands full, and I'm hoping for the latter. I think Coach Apodaca is going to have these guys ready to rock and roll.
I don't anticipate, at least again, playoffs is a whole different animal, at least in high school football. But I don't anticipate a running clock in this one. Again, Central is not the same team as they were when they did get blown out by Thunder Basin here in town. It's a vastly improved team, and I think they will give them a fight. Now, whether they win against Thunder Basin Bolts, that's questionable. But
it's a big uphill climb.
It really is, and again, it's going to be a tall task for the Central Indians, as we mentioned yesterday. In order to beat this team, especially on the road up in Gillette, they got to play near perfect ball, and they need to eliminate all turnovers. Again, that sloppy first quarter, those first two possessions for the Central Indians, they cannot afford that. They can't afford any turnovers against the Thunder Basin team because we've seen it plenty of times. They take advantage of them, and they put points on the board at least in return of those turnovers. They take advantage, and Central cannot afford that coming up this Friday. Now, if they play that near perfect ball, I give them a shot. But it's going to be a very tall task against this very good Thunder Basin team.
Well, the thing, too, about Thunder Basin, I've got a little problem with this program. You know, they come into play. This is only their second year, and, you know, they get most of the old Campbell County players to come on over, shift over. I mean, they haven't paid their dues, so to speak. They came out as a good program right away.
So
you know, it would please me more than anything to see this upset. I know I'm asking for a lot when you got a 2 versus 7. I mean, let's be real. The way things should go, according to Hoyle, 1 beats 8, 2 beats 7, 3 beats 6, and 4 and 5 is usually a tussle, but 4 comes out on top. I would love to see the shocker in the number 2-7 matchup in Gillette.
It's a rarity, though.
I know, but
high school football, especially in this state, it kind of goes to Hoyle of 1, 2, 3, 4. Or at least that 4 or 5, yeah, it is kind of that virtual tie-up. But at least in this, between East and Laramie, I don't see that being a toss-up. I think you give the slight advantage to the East Side Thunderbirds.
Come on, let's be real. Wouldn't you like to see that upset in Gillette?
No, yeah.
Here's what bothers me.
I don't like anything about Gillette, absolutely.
But I know, but here's the deal. Before you get us in trouble with that community,
I
got to go do the game there, so don't even go there. My point is,
exactly. See,
it's like South. Look at the South High Fighting Bison. They come into play as the third high school here in Cheyenne.
Mm-hmm.
They've got to pay their dues. I mean, it took them a while to win this. It took them a while to win that.
South
they got to the state championship.
South didn't have that advantage to kind of draw over at least.
Yeah, they went through boundaries. That's right.
I'm just saying where Thunder Basin said, hey, if you want to come to the school, go ahead, come on by.
You can finish your
South didn't have that availability, so
and I don't like that.
Is it a little bit of a privilege thing on Thunder Basin? Just a little bit. Where South for nearly a decade's taking their lumps.
Well, we were up there too, and what did they say? Hey, you had the opportunity. Do you want to stay at Campbell County, or you want to come to the brand new Thunder Basin High School?
Guess what? Most people are going to go to that brand new thing.
Yeah, that's right. So they haven't really paid their dues. So to me, Coach Apodaca, and I know you listen to this program, hey, get out there, don't make any mistakes, kick their butt, and I'm going to enjoy calling that game here on 1480 KRAE.
You better.
With some help.
You better.
So again, 5:30, our pregame kickoff, 6 o'clock. All right. Looking ahead towards Friday as well, we are not going to be the only ones in operation. East has Laramie over at the Okie Blanchard.
I thought you were talking about something else other on Friday. No one should really pay attention to. I mean, again, it's high school football.
It's later that night.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it'll be at the same time as these football playoffs are going on across the state.
Technically,
this is more important than what's going to happen down in Fort Collins.
Technically, we'll be almost done with the game, right? Technically.
Yeah.
So
go celebrate if Central wins. Celebrate, and again with the Cowboys, and that'll lead in because we need to get to that press conference. Again, it's a lengthy one, but I mean, there's better things. Again, it couldn't have come at a perfect time.
Two teams that have just not done well this year.
I'm just saying this is an easy decision, at least for folks here in town. Do you want to go to the Cowboys game? No, instead we got some classic high school football going on again, whether it's Cheyenne East, it's Central on the road up in Gillette. If you want to make that road trip up there, I think a lot of parents will, but hey, again, fans, hey, I encourage you to head on up and cheer on the Indians as they take on the Bolts. Also, too, with the Cheyenne Stampede in action at the Iceland Event Center. I mean, there's a lot better things going on this Friday than that game down at Fort Collins.
And then the question will be, will Sean Chambers be the starting quarterback? And then again, too, realistically, if Sean is that quarterback, replacing one Tyler Vanderwall, and again, when we talked to Coach Bobo yesterday, are they going to just stack the box, 8 deep? Because that's all Sean likes to do is run the football.
He just ran it up the gut every single time with that Wildcat offense. And, yeah, again, I think CSU is preparing for both instances. Also, too, again, you're going to have focus on that middle run with Nico Evans, so you're going to be prepared for that no matter what. But, yeah, again, the biggest question is, do we go with Vanderwall? Do we go with Chambers? Again, CSU has already declared it's not Carter Samuels. It's going to be Colin Hill.
But you know what's going to happen? What we have seen, though, both these quarterbacks have run in.
They can run.
They've run in for each other, so I would not be surprised to see Carter Samuels sometime in that ball game as well.
You might see the same thing with the Cowboys. Again, we saw that with Utah State of going, all right, let's swap out that
quarterbacks. Yeah. So, anyway, we do have Coach Bull on deck as he had a lengthy press conference. So we'll check in on.
Let's hear if he said that Utah State played well this weekend.
Well, and we're going to probably open the playbook when we go down to Fort Collins.
I mean, they opened up a different playbook again with a Wildcat offense. So I mean, there was that. It didn't amount to much. It mounted to the same result.
They were close, at least. They weren't.
Yeah, that's thanks to the defense, though. That's credit to the defense. The offense still, again, you got your average of 16 points. Congrats.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. Coach Bull on deck here on 1480 KRAE.
1480 KRAE is your home for live play-by-play coverage of high school basketball and football. Hi, this is Nick Perotti inviting you to hear all the play-by-play calls of East, Central, and South football and basketball. You'll hear the conference action along with the postseason, and during the basketball season, 1480 KRAE features both boys and girls games. Catch all the exciting calls on AM 1480 KRAE, also streaming the games worldwide on the web at 1480KRAE.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
Good game, boys. You showed some real fight. Like when Wachowski put that hit on our own mascot. Solid work, son. Okay, Friday was for football, but Tuesday is for tacos. Taco Tuesday at Taco John's. It's a sacred holiday where we eat tacos repeatedly until I get full.
Save big every Taco Tuesday with crispy beef tacos for just 99 cents.
Get some rest, boys, because come Taco Tuesday, we olay the day.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
What do Wyoming's energy resources have to do with our schools, our first responders, our roads and bridges, and our highway safety? The federal government was supposed to split abandoned mineland coal fees with Wyoming, but Washington did what it does best. They kept the AML money and stiffed Wyoming, shorting us by hundreds of millions of dollars. John Barrasso used his experience and leadership position to get back what Washington stole from us. In the process, he taught Washington, D.C. a thing or two about fairness and honor and how we do things here in the West. And the money we were owed? It's money to help make our roads safer and help our communities succeed. John fought for all of us with the courage to do what's right and the commitment to see it through. John Barrasso for Wyoming.
I'm John Barrasso, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 59 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15. And for tonight, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 63. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 37.
We're taking Cheyenne, Wyoming Sports Talk Radio to a whole new level. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
Don't look at me. I think these people are completely nuts.
Stop this crazy thing!
And it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Started, what a great week. These are exciting times for football programs. It's a pleasure for me to serve as a head football coach at the University of Wyoming, getting ready for the border war. I believe it's the longest football rivalry west of the Mississippi. Certainly the Bronze Boot is there. I know that when it comes to games like this, You throw records out, and while we certainly have not had the year that I thought we would have at this point, I don't know how Coach Bobo sees their squad, but I do know Colorado State has got a great tradition. Coach Bobo does a great job, man of integrity. Their team will play hard. The Cowboys will play hard, and it's going to be a fun game. After reflecting of last week, certainly disappointing we didn't come up with a win. Choosing to say that the glass is somewhat half full, I think that there were certainly some bright spots with the game. I thought our defense really handled the up-tempo pace extremely well. We were able to get their quarterback off rhythm. He'd been completing close to 70% of his passes, and I think he was in the 40% there. We did have the one explosive play at the beginning of the game that was a high-risk, high-reward call, and it didn't turn out our way. I thought, offensively in the second half, we did some good things. Certainly the yardage indicated that as well. We're going to move forward. We were not able to play with Alonzo Velasquez during the game. I would think that it's going to be doubtful for him the rest of the year. He's got some knee issues, and so that's disappointing for him and for us. Rudy Stouffer will continue to go in and start at his place. We'll continue to be same punter with Dante Crow, but we will use Ryan on other times as well. The status at the quarterback position, I purposely have listed that as or. That's going to be evaluated during the course of this week. They each bring different elements to the table. We'll see how they perform during the course of this practice. We played both guys last week. That certainly could come into play as well. But that's going to be a game time decision. So for those who are here, if you want to know, show up in Fort Collins at 8 o'clock and you're going to find out. But I'm personally excited about this game. Our players are excited about this game. It's one of the things I've coached 36 years. These are fun things to go out and compete when you have two really classy programs. You throw out the records and you tee it up and see who's the best ball club. So at this time, questions that are out there. Yes, over here. Start to my right side.
Greg, when you came here to North Dakota State 5 years ago, how long did it take you to, understand the importance of it, how much this rivalry meant to both sides?
I would say after the first year, for me as a head football coach, there were other rivalry games, traveling trophies that I'd been part of. The Nebraska-Oklahoma series, which is no longer there, was a huge series. North Dakota State, we had a series with the UND or South Dakota State, but I really wasn't, I didn't get the full gravity until that week of the game. And then also after that, there's a real sense of pride in our state. We're a sparsely populated state that people choose to have comments about our weather and some of the other elements of our state. And so there's a great deal of pride for our state to go down and represent ourselves and the institution, and to have a traveling trophy like the Bronze Boot is great. And so it was after the first year I underestimated the importance of the game, and since that time I personally embraced it, and it's been a great rivalry. Yes, Robert.
I know you evaluate both quarterbacks for the week, but is it tricky? It's a short week, but then to get them both reps or the reps you think they need to, so you can make that evaluation. Will that be difficult this week?
It is a challenge because you start looking at the number of reps. We're practicing longer today than what we normally do on Monday. CSU has an advantage. They have a day ahead of us, but we'll make that up. We typically try to get two quarterbacks ready, Robert. And so, last week Sean was interjected during the course of the week, but we'll distribute our reps probably differently. Nick Smith is probably not going to get hardly any reps. So we'll have a give and take. And both of those guys bring different things to the table. Sean can throw the football, but he's got excellent running skills. Tyler's got good running skills, but he's got a good arm. And so there's different parts of the playbook that we'll look at and see what's going to put us in best position. I can tell you there will be a firm decision at game time, and then we'll see how the game goes as the game begins to unfold right here.
Coach, can you talk about the dynamic that Sean brings to the quarterback position, maybe a little bit different than your kind of typical pro-style quarterback? I mean, I know you've had guys that can run, like Josh and Carson, but can you talk about his different dynamic a little bit?
Yeah, I certainly can. You know, he's a young guy that is a very competitive player. When I watched him play high school football, the game that I went to, he was diving over a pile, trying to block a punt and landed on his head. He played catcher on the baseball team. All those things are part of his DNA. I doubt that there will be a time that he will ever run out of bounds unless we're trying to conserve the clock. I doubt that there's ever going to be a time that you'll see him slide. There's good and bad with that, but I'll take the good.
Does that remind you of Josh, just a little bit?
There's a lot of similar qualities. And so, you know, Sean's trying to find his way. There are certainly things in the game that he could have done better. There are certainly things that he did. I can tell you, I didn't think the stage was too big for him. I didn't think he went out there. Now, the first series when he fumbled, it was disappointing because I had harped on that. And I said, you know, you're going to get hit at different angles harder than you ever have. And so it's kind of like one of those parental advice that sometimes, yeah, I got it, Dad, I got it, until now I understand. But I think he understands that. But it was fun to see him out there. It was fun to see Tyler out there as well. Yes?
The offensive momentum between Tyler and Sean, is there hope moving forward against CSU that would make you believe that perhaps Sean would bring more of an element? Granted that he would be named the starter, of course. And did you see things that you liked that Tyler did versus what Sean didn't do in the second half?
Yeah, a couple things that Tyler does. First of all, and there was, and I'm surprised nobody's asked me in this why Tyler went in on the last 2 minutes. There's things that Tyler brings that Sean doesn't. I mean, his understanding of all the progressional reads, not the first, second, but the third and fourth, and changing protections and how he's scanning the field. He's just much further along. And those are things that we felt like put our football team in the best position to have a chance with a minute some left to move the ball down the field. And he had done an excellent job against Wofford. And so he still possesses those things. Sean does not have that wealth of knowledge. Sean does have maybe a little bit more of an explosive running edge. He does have a live arm. He can throw it a country mile, but his skill set as far as being a refined pro-style quarterback, you know, that's not there. Now, his competitive nature certainly is, and his other physical skills are. And those are going to be things that I'll look at, that I'll have consultation with Brent Vegan during the course of the week. You know, I'll listen to Brent, but ultimately, in the end of the day, that's going to be my decision. Yes, Robert.
You know, you mentioned that decision to put Tyler in at the very end. You were very adamant that was, you know, stemmed by decision after looking at film and meeting with coaches and stuff. Did you still feel comfortable with that decision? And I guess how are the two quarterbacks doing just mental-wise this morning, you know, early this week as they get, you know, after that experience and then getting ready for another game?
You know, I'm going to have a chance to talk when we had a short window yesterday, and I'll have a chance to talk with both of the guys before today's practice. Yeah, there is no second guessing our decision. Coach Vegan and I were in constant communication during that time. I can tell you, if I felt like we had 4 minutes left in the game, probably would have been a different call. Because of what we were doing offensively, the style that we were running. And, you know, it all came down to that. There was a decision that was made. It was the decision on the field initially was going to be a fourth down as opposed to a first down. And at that time we had enough time. But, you know, through that next time, I just looked and said, for us to go that length of the field, that playbook is going to have to change, and we're not sure Sean's capable of that.
Greg, with Sean playing in week 6, do you completely throw out any consideration with the red shirt now, or will that still be in play as the rest of this season goes
I can tell you this, our responsibility is to this football team, the players and the coaches that we have, and the seniors that we have on our football team. And so I know this, we're in a one-game season. We're getting ready to play Colorado State. We'll let the dust settle after this game. This is a fun deal, and we're going to do everything we can to win this one. Yes, the Cowboy in the back of the room.
If we see Sean this week, do you think what be more of a diverse offensive approach? Will there be more throwing involved because he's had time to work?
Well, I'm sure Coach Bobo is listening to this press conference as well, so I'm going to frame this. Mike, if you're listening out there, which I know you are, we're certainly going to have a more open playbook. Come on.
There you go.
Yeah.
Craig, I know with CSU, they've played 2 quarterbacks this year. Carson has played a lot, and I know Hill has played some, and they like him. Do they do a lot different when either one's in there? Or it's pretty much the same schemes, or is it a challenge for your defense to prepare for 2 quarterbacks as well, maybe?
I would say right now our comparison would be, if you remember Boise State last year, Rippon and the other guy that came in and really diced us up too, I forget what his name was. I mean, they had different elements that really posed problems. I think that's a little bit more where we're at. I think Coach Bobo has done a great job with those 2 quarterbacks, and so their style, what they do, is more similar. I think there's a pretty significant difference right now between Sean and Tyler, and that difference between their guys probably is not as great. Yes.
You mentioned opening up the playbook, so I'm obviously not asking you to give anything away, but if you go with Sean, how do you do that? How realistic is that for a true freshman who spent most of the year on the scout team?
Well, he went through fall camp, so he's got the elements. We installed our whole offense during fall camp. Now, there's nuances each week that you go against a different defense, and you're going to frame things in a different way. But Sean's got a good understanding, but it's not as in-depth because of the library of experience that he has. But last week, there were elements that we felt like that would play to his strength. We were going to use those in a timely fashion. I think we did. There's certainly going to be more things that he'll do this next week. But to think that Sean's going to go out and do everything that Josh Allen did like last year, that's unrealistic. But you're certainly going to see more than what you did. If Sean's our quarterback, you're going to see much more than what we saw Saturday. Yes.
I had the opportunity to watch Sean's varsity, his junior season.
Did you?
I did. I had a chance to watch that. I went in a huddle and I did my research.
Okay.
He's very good on the run. Out of the pocket, he has the arm, a big arm. I think of a Sam Darnold-esque kind of guy. Do you see the development moving forward for him to be that big play guy, being able to put more RPO type mentality into every snap that he takes?
There's some pretty insightful questions you have there. You know what we see out of both of the guys. Both of the guys have a strong arm. Football is really important to them. Each guy's got a certain amount of strengths that they have. I think Tyler right now certainly is, while his numbers have not bared it out in practice, he's more of an accurate passer than Sean. There's things that Sean, I think, has maybe been able to do that both of them, I think, can throw on the run well. I think Sean's probably a little bit more capable runner, and so we'll develop those skills. But we can't be one-dimensional. Whoever plays our quarterback, it's not like we're not going to run Tyler, and it's not like we're not going to get into some drop-back scheme with Sean.
Very soon on the depth chart, you have Zach Watts listed as starting at left guard, a true freshman. What are you thinking there?
I think we got a good player. And, we looked during the course of this game, and Zach is from Windsor. He was an excellent high school player. He's been competitive. He'll maintain blocks. I think there's a certain progression an offensive lineman goes through that they start to learn. I can tell you this. We need more competitive football players on our football team, and we need more competitive guys on offense, period. And the numbers bear that out. And so our football team is going to become more competitive. Either some of those guys are going to change their DNA, which sometimes that's possible, sometimes it's not, or some of the other guys ain't going to be there, and we're going to get a competitive guy in there. And Zach Watts will fight you. If we want him in our foxhole, that'll be a big ball game for him, but it's at this stage not going to be too big for him, and we're excited about having him. So I'm going to frame it like that. If you can read between the lines there, read between the lines. I'm just not happy. I'm just telling you right now, I'm not happy with the lack of competitive nature that we have on our offense. And that's got to change, and we're changing that as I speak.
C.J. Colden?
Huh?
C.J. Colden this week?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
Going back to you mentioned when you found the importance of the rivalry, that first week of that first game you were here, was there some moment, something happened that week that made you say, oh, this is a big deal?
Yeah, when the other team ran across the field and grabbed the trophy, and we didn't have it, it sucked.
Yeah.
It does, and that's a big deal to have it. And it was a gut punch, and we weren't even close in the game. And so, you know, that left an indelible impression on me. This is a big deal. And when we won it a couple years ago, and I saw our players all run to our fans that were down there, and there'll be a boatload of our fans down there, that's a big deal to our fans. And, you know, so, yeah, it's a big thing.
Coach, you mentioned that you didn't think that the moment was too big for Sean, a true freshman. I mean, even Tyler, a redshirt freshman. You got a lot of young guys on here. I mean, this is a game where, you know, it is a big moment. Emotion plays a big role in that. How do you control the emotion to just get them to play, I guess?
Well, I think certainly some of it comes into positioning in them to where they're going to be successful. The things that we're asking them to do are within their skill set. And that's more art than science. That's kind of a gut feeling you have as a coach. You watch a guy during practice. You're composing the game plans. You know what type of a game atmosphere it's going to be. You also see the competitive nature and the competency of the player. And so that's how we fashion that. Sometimes we're off a little bit. I think more times we're right than wrong. I applaud you on the fact that you look at our chart. There's a lot of young guys. I mean, you're not going to see me stand up here and say, oh, woe is us, and, you know, the future looks bright. We got all these. We're not spending it that way. We got the guys we got, and they're going to be in position to go down there and have the mentality to win the football game. Yep.
Coach, will you talk a little bit about what you see from Colorado State's defense coming in and kind of a group that struggle from time to time, giving up a lot of points, a lot of yardage?
Well, they certainly have. I think, you know, they've got a new coaching staff, and anytime you have a new coaching staff, there's going to be a learning curve that you have. They have, I know through the years, they've gone from a 3 down to a 4 down to a 3 down to, and while the average public may not think that that's that big a deal, it always amazes me and I appreciate our fans. You know, everybody's an expert on what's going on offense, and you're running up the middle, or you're at this style of offense. But if you talk to them about the differences between those differences on defense, they couldn't tell you, and a lot of media people couldn't tell you. But that's a big difference, and so they've gone through a curve, and I think they're probably going to, you know, I'm sure they're halfway through their season or past halfway. They're going to hit their stride, and the guys play hard. They have given up some big plays. We just hope there's a bunch of big plays come Friday night on our side.
I know season's been a challenge, but this is what, the third straight week you're basically offering on a short week because of travel weather and stuff. I mean, I know you're not an excuse guy, but how challenging has that been as it is basically 3 straight weeks on a short week?
That has been, and there's science that backs it up. We tag our guys with GPS chips, and we tag their movements and their miles per hour. Our team speed is down. Some of our players, you just go through that. I don't care who you are. You know, you take those trips. Kevin's over there. I mean, that had a residual effect. And as much as what we wanted to rely on enthusiasm, emotion, and adrenaline, there's a baseline for that. And so we're making accommodations for that as we fashion practice schedules. Normally we would have practice yesterday. We chose not to practice, and that was a hard thing for me to get over because there's a routine you have, but there's a diminishing returns that you have when you're just pounding some guys. And not only that travel schedule, but I'm really proud of the fact that these guys are student athletes, and they're right in the middle of some really, really intense finals. Andrew Winger was up till 12:30 in the morning, I don't know how, or 12:30, studying. He'll graduate. I see Carl Granderson and the OAS grinding away, and so between the travel and the missed class time, and then those guys and getting their sleep, that had an effect. And we got beat by a good football team. And so we're trying to schedule things right for them to get to bed a little bit early. Certainly Friday night, I would have rather played it Saturday. That's what the conference gives us. This year has been probably, I would say, is more challenging than what I can remember as a head coach. Just all the nuances of what we've done. You guys have had some softball questions. Here comes a hard one.
Defensively, there was an interception. I was down at the end of the end zone, hit with the ball, of course, as Tyler just chucked it down. As far as from an opportunity standpoint, is there a 50-50 between right now between Sean and Tyler standing under center against CSU?
Well, here's what I would tell you. Game starts at 8 o'clock Friday night. Buy a ticket, you'll be there.
Cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Due to our stormy season this summer, Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Rogers' already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com. The message is simple. Drive sober or get pulled over. If you drink and drive, remember it's illegal and it can cost you your freedom or worse, your life. It's been determined that a blood alcohol content of 0.08% or more can impair you considerably when you are behind the wheel. Financially, it can devastate you if you get arrested. More importantly, it could result in losing a friend or a family member. That price is too high to pay. Call a designated driver after enjoying a night out and get home safe. Paid for by Federal Highway Safety Funds.
You can actually get something good for your health at a drive-through window. When you order your next prescription from Medicap Pharmacy, call ahead and use our drive-through window. Or you can call for free delivery. You can even log on to Medicap.com and order a prescription refill. Your Medicap pharmacist will call you to make arrangements for pickup or delivery.
Medicap Pharmacy will always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
You bleed brown and gold? So do we. Wyoming Cowboys football and basketball is always front and center on this show. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's here on AM 1480, KRAE.
We are back on Wyoming Sports Talk Today. Larry Perletti, Nick Perletti.
Got anything to say about that press conference there?
Yeah, I do. But, I'm beating a dead horse.
Went into my research bag, at least brought up the old border war, at least under the years under Craig Bowl. He is 2-2 so far.
Lost his first two.
Lost his first two, 2014, 2015. 2014, it was at CSU, a 31-45 loss. 2015 was a 7-27 loss. That was in Laramie. Now, 2016 was a 38-17 victory down in CSU, down at Old Hugh Stadium. And 2017, the Snow Bowl, as it was last year, the Cowboys getting the victory 16-13, again, a game up in Laramie. So will it be in favor of the Cowboys coming up this Friday? Will it be in advantage of CSU? Will Craig Bowl move to a sub 500 record in this series, as he has, again, 24-35 overall, 15-21 in his Mountain West record. So will he move sub 500 in this rivalry coming up this Friday?
Well,
and I think
you give me your thoughts.
And I will. Again, in my thoughts with this one, CSU, it is really a flip of the coin. Again, as Craig Bowl was mentioning there, where, again, with Tyler Vanderwall, he has positives. He also, too, again, there are advantages to putting out a Tyler Vanderwall. With Chambers, again, he is very good at running. He has those positives there. Could they, of what we saw this past weekend with Utah State, switch in between with those two? I think there's a very good possibility. And I think to make this offense more unique, make it a little less predictable as it's been throughout this season, I think that would be a smart decision by Brent Vigen and that kind of offensive staff. Now, with CSU, though, again, going with Colin Hill, we've seen him. He's kind of similar to a Chambers. He can run, but also, too, he does have an arm. It's more so that they are going to run with Colin Hill more so than they are going to throw. Now, could they toss out a Carter Samuels, as they've done in previous contests? I do believe the last time we saw that kind of switcheroo was at Illinois State, at least the last game that we saw in person down there in Fort Collins. But I think this could be a situation of there could be a few series of, hey, here's Hill, here's Chambers. All right, we got what we want out of here, or either maybe it's not going the way we wanted to, whether it's CSU or UW. All right, Vanderwall, Carter Samuels, now it's your turn to shine, or at least try to swing things in advantage of our teams out there. Now, CSU, as I last looked, 2.5-point favorite in this contest.
Point and a half now.
Oh, it's 1.5, at least of what in front of me, I got 2.5. But anyways, still, though, I think that's an even spread. You just give them that slight advantage of being at home. But I can't say who's going to win. I can't say who's going to lose. I really don't know.
Here's what I got out of the press conference.
It's two teams that are just, backs against the walls. They really, at this point in time, don't have much to play for except for trying to gather back some sort of pride. And again, definitely you do toss out the records in this contest as you would any other year with the Border War, that just rivalry. Do I go with that slight advantage of just being at home for CSU? I guess. Yeah. It is that oddball Friday. They've already... If also, too, any other advantage for CSU is, yes, they just played a Friday game. They know how to alter that schedule.
They have an extra day of practice?
Absolutely. Again, they know to prepare for a Friday game because they just had one, so it doesn't really alter that schedule a whole lot for them. I think it's small positives or at least small advantages for CSU, but it's nothing too major that's going to say, oh, yeah, here it is, CSU, they're going to blow out Wyoming. I don't think so. In this one, again, without doing our weekly picks, yeah, I would probably take CSU, and I would probably take that 1.5 points at least, or 2.5 on my end. But
1.5 here.
Whatever. But
going back to the press conference, and I didn't like when Coach Bowl kind of made the assertion to the media and to fans, this is his team, and he's gonna ride with it.
Yeah.
And it's not a matter of them being young guys or being a veteran squad. It was like, you heard it as well as I did, Nick. There was a guy, and he wasn't liquored up. He was unmerciful. I mean, he was like, this sucks. And again, too, here's the deal. When are you going to get it into your head that people dole out big bucks to see this, and you put out a crap product on the field?
I think for the Utah State game, about $70 tickets, I do believe.
It don't
something
matter.
like that. Yeah,
my point is, my point is, though, you're judged, Bowl, you're judged by wins and losses. Well, right now,
you're 11 games below 500.
Yeah, right now the jury's out, and they're deliberating. And if I understand right, folks aren't too happy with you right now.
Again, at this point, at least at this point in time, again, 5 years, or at least again, beginning his 5th season, he has a worse record than the 2 head coaching predecessors.
But he's above it, because again, here's the way it is. You get rid of me, you got to pay me. I got a hell of a buyout. But then
so what
again,
you're saying that he's just holding the at least university hostage?
No, he's not holding the university hostage. But again, you got Tom Berman in a hell of a predicament right now. Folks aren't too happy.
Or we heard, and again, unless he
and you heard it out there at the stadium.
We heard it pretty loud and clear, especially on a lot of those fourth downs where, hey, Cowboys, you got nothing to lose at this point in time. Be aggressive.
Oh, by the way,
stop being conservative. Stop being scared.
There wasn't 32,000 people there either.
No.
So what is that?
I think that 18,000 that was predicted was a little soft as well, but
that's all right. And where you're talking about CSU winning, and that pains me to even think that. But if they do win, what kind of crowd you going to have for San Jose?
I think people would be like, who's playing this Saturday? What?
You know, when you
granted they do have a bye week, so I mean obviously at that point
though, Nick,
I'm just saying at that point in time, that bye week, that's going to be the point where if they do lose, and again they would move on again with only 2 wins, and San Jose State at that point in time probably has no wins as well. I think folks are going to kind of forget. We'll be in the middle of basketball as well, too, at least here on this end with LCCC in this kind of locale. Again, busy with hockey, busy with other sports going on around the area, whether it is pro, college. I think at that point in time, folks, not saying fans are fickle, but it's understandable. Again, kind of this front rage, hey, if you're not winning, we're not showing up. I think at that point in time, a lot of other focuses are going to be on minds of at least people around this area of going, hey, Stampede are in action. Hey, LCCC,
I understand that, but the second focus is if the Cowboys do lose, they're out of the bowl picture.
Yeah.
Whether it's the crappiest bowl that we have, the Mountain West Conference.
If they even make it to a bowl, if they do win it out.
That's right. But they're going to be out of bowl contention.
Yeah.
Then what are you going to say? And again,
there's next year.
I know there's next year.
That's what I'm just saying.
I know, but then we got to wait another season, and that's
which is not going to be a guarantee either.
But you know what? We're graduating, and
you're graduating
some very talented people on that defensive side.
On that defense, absolutely. Again, one of the toughest defenses across the land, and all those players are going to say bye-bye. This is what's keeping the games this year close. Ooh, if we keep that offense the same and you lose a little bit talent, and at least, again, barring of what that at least defense is going to look like next season, things could get out of hand.
It's kind of interesting because the hands are not balancing. You know what? You're going to be graduating a talented group off the defensive side. That makes you younger next year. Okay? Well, the offense is getting a little older. So do we expect more from the offense next year and the defense is going to be weaker? Do we have to score 55 points to maybe be competitive?
I think that's a legitimate reality that, at least for right now, the Cowboy fans have to deal with.
But Coach Bowl,
it's going to be uneven because, again, it just seems like, well, this year defense is good, offense is terrible. Well, this is how it is. Well, next year it's going to be flipped on the other side.
Well,
there's not even guarantee that offense will even take a step forward.
We're just saying it might, because it's going to be a year older, it might be a year better. But, again, it goes back to, and I know we're getting to the top of the hour.
Well, we need to take another break.
But what I'm saying is it's just that I'm not wowed anymore by our play calling. Call me the media. Call me an armchair quarterback. I don't care. Brent Vegan, you don't wow me. You bore me.
Yeah.
And you heard it this weekend. I know he did because we heard it.
Yeah, we heard it loud and clear of all the boos and just people just. And again, it's not social media. It was there live at War Memorial Stadium. This is your fan base. It was not overloaded with the blue and white or blue and black of Utah State. No, this was the brown and gold faithful out there booing you for questionable calls throughout that entire contest. This is also to a crowd where that offense is out there was dead silent. Was just dead silent, was not amused other than one big play here and there. But other than that, it was just, wow, there it is, 3 and out.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back. We'll get to the top of the hour. We have Vance Joseph standing by with his press conference.
Well, we'll get to that a little bit later.
I'm just saying we'll be getting to him, and then we'll have Coach Breen in with our Stampede program, which will be the Cheyenne Stampede Coaches Show.
There you go.
I know. I'm just saying. I'm just trying to do it in abbreviation here. He'll be in at 4:30, and we will also be talking to I forgot Taylor is his last name.
Not even close.
Okay,
You're not
I'm
even
sorry.
on the same planet.
What was it?
How about forward Bryan Waters?
Bryan Waters. I wanted to say Bryan, but I wasn't sure I'd have been.
How about do your research?
How about I don't have it on here right now? All right, so we're going to take a timeout.
There's what, 3 different ways to
We're
see
going to
it?
be taking a timeout. I don't want to hear your lip, and we'll be back after these words right here in 1480 KRAE.
I'm Mark Gordon. Jenny and I are grateful every day we live in this wonderful state. I'm not running for governor to fix Wyoming. I simply want to use my background in energy, agriculture, and small business to work for you to help manage our state government, to keep local decisions in local hands, and help clear a path for you to chart your own course and pursue your own dreams right here in Wyoming. Practical, conservative, Western values. That's what you can expect from me.
Paid for by Friends of Mark Gordon.
Cheyenne Urological has been the cornerstone of urinary care to Cheyenne and its surrounding communities for over 20 years, with doctors Bryan, Everett, Gajewski, and their highly trained staff providing top-quality treatment for prostate cancer, urinary tract infections, kidney stones, impotence, and incontinence. Cheyenne Urological is now offering cutting-edge robotic surgery. So call Cheyenne Urological at 635-4131 for compassionate, expert urinary care. That's 635-4131.
Wyoming basketball fans, the season is almost here, and season tickets are on sale now. Season tickets are the best deal for all fans, with prices starting at $130 for the Cowgirls and $220 for the Cowboys. Or check out the affordable Cowboy Seat Hopper mobile season ticket pass, where your seat changes each game. Don't miss any of the action in the AA this season. Get your season tickets today at GoWyo.com or call 307-766-7220.
This is 1480 KRAE Cheyenne.
Also being heard on translator K266CC Cheyenne at 101.1 FM.
What you are about to hear is a sports talk radio show unlike any other that has ever before been broadcast in the capital city of Cheyenne, Wyoming, USA. This is Cheyenne, Wyoming's Sports Talk Authority. The Wyoming Cowboys, the Denver Broncos, the Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Nuggets. The show is local, it's regional, and yes, the show is national as well. Wyoming Sports Talk Today is on the air. If they're talking sports on the radio in Cheyenne, this is the place it happens. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today.
It is hour number 2 of Wyoming Sports Talk Today, which is being brought to you by Taco John's. Taco Tuesday at all area Taco John's. Do check it out and grab a boatload of delicious tacos from Taco John's. Jolly Rogers RV Sales and Service over on Highway 30. Don't forget they're having a hail of a sale. Chick-fil-A at the corner of Windmill and Del Range. Yes, grabbing some chicken sandwiches and waffle fries and getting ready for the ball game. That sounds like a winner to me. See my good friends Ray and Cindy and the crew over at Chick-fil-A, Windmill and Del Range. 2 convenient drive-thrus. Oh, by the way, right across from Menards. Kia of Cheyenne. 18's got to go. 19's arriving. Come on by. Take a test drive today. Kia of Cheyenne on Nation Way. Platte Valley Bank. Do your banking with Rick and his great staff. Eastsiders over on College and Pershing. Original location on Vanda High, open Monday through Friday. Medicap Pharmacy for all your pharmaceutical needs, and you will catch the great crew always waiting for you over on Bluegrass Circle next door to Texas Red House. Lennox Auto Body, the Auto and Truck Repair Center on Dunn Avenue, the Auto Glass and Detail Center over on Pershing Boulevard. First Tier Bank at 1508 Stillwater Avenue, open Monday through Friday. Across the street, open 7 days a week. Mondello's Pizzeria, Paisan Cuisine at its best every time you walk in to Mondello's Pizzeria. Mars Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue, and our scoreboard always being brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
LCCC women's volleyball in action coming up tonight here in town over at the RAC. They will host Western Nebraska Community College. That game will get underway at 7 o'clock, so go cheer on the Golden Eagles as they play tonight over at the RAC. LCCC men's and women's soccer, just to let you folks know, coming up this weekend on Friday, they will both be playing down at Metro State University in Denver, Colorado. The women's side, they will be the number 1 seed taking on number 3 Sheridan. That game will get underway at 11:30 a.m. And at 2 o'clock, right after the conclusion of that first game, the men will get underway as LCCC, the number 3 seed, taking on the number 1 seed Gillette College. If both teams or one team does move on, they will play Saturday this weekend. Women's championship will be at 3 p.m. and the men will start tentative schedule for 5:30 p.m. Also, to NHL action for tonight. Florida Panthers in the Garden taking on the New York Rangers. Columbus Blue Jackets at home at Nationwide hosting the Arizona Coyotes. Calgary Flames taking on the Montreal Canadiens. Ottawa Senators at Canadian Tire Center hosting the Boston Bruins. Sharks of San Jose in Nashville taking on the Preds. The Chicago Blackhawks at United Center hosting the Anaheim Ducks. You also to see the LA Kings in Dallas taking on the Stars at the American Airlines Center. And Edmonton Oilers at Rogers Place hosting the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's what's happening in NHL action for tonight.
What else do we got going on here? Heck, I don't know. Let's see.
Basketball.
Major League Baseball. Let's talk about the World Series, as it's the Boston Red Sox at Fenway playing host to the Los Angeles Dodgers for this evening. Are you ready for some baseball with the Dodgers and the Bo Sox?
Hopefully the Dodgers lose 2 in a row.
Well, there's a very good possibility.
But again, I don't want the Red Sox to win either, but, you know.
Clayton Kershaw on the hill. Chris Sale on the mound for the Bo Sox. 42 degrees currently the temperature at Fenway Park. Let's go over to the NBA where we got games, well, not a lot tonight, but we will say in the can at the Pepsi Center. 7 o'clocker, it will be the Sacramento Kings and the Denver Nuggets. Nuggets putting up their 3-0 record on the line tonight.
Whoop-de-doo.
It will
talk to me around playoff time to see if this team even makes it.
It's the Clips at the Pelicans at the Smoothie King Arena, and in the Little Caesars Arena in Motown, 76ers and the Pistons on tap for tonight. Our scoreboard brought to you by Pepsi of Cheyenne.
Hi, I'm Alex White, tea master at Pure Leaf. When I make tea, everything I know goes into it. You can't be impatient. When I craft Pure Leaf iced tea, I don't take shortcuts, because I want you to have the same amazing taste of iced tea that I do. So I start with fresh picked tea leaves. Then, after they're delicately dried, I blend and brew them at a lower temperature to draw out their unique aromas. And then I taste and fine-tune the blend for a delicious smooth iced tea. I'd love to have you take a sip right now, but that's one thing we can't do over the radio. But you can experience the same delicious taste of Pure Leaf iced tea anywhere you are. I'm Alex White, Pure Leaf Tea Master. Pure Leaf, our thing is tea.
Here the season never ends. From Wyoming sports to the Broncos in Denver. From Rockies baseball to talking hoops with Nuggets basketball. Local, regional, and national. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today, right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
You know, I'll let you go do what you need to do. Go check that real quick while I mention that Broncos backup quarterback, Chad Kelly, was arrested early today on suspicion of criminal trespass after a couple reported he came into their suburban house uninvited and sat down on the couch mumbling incoherently, according to court records. Well, anyway, the 24-year-old Kelly posted a $2,500 bond and was released later today. Now, according to the court records, a man and a woman told police that a stranger came into their Englewood, Colorado home after 1 o'clock in the morning. The intruder sat down on the couch next to the woman who was holding the couple's young child and was mumbling incoherently. According to the records, the man yelled at the intruder to get out. Hit him in the back with a vacuum tube. Police surveillance video showed the man wearing dark pants and a white long-sleeve shirt with a brown vest and a red scarf around his neck entering the front door. Kelly appears to have been at a team Halloween party hosted by teammate Von Miller. Oops. Must have been dipping in the old Hawaiian punch there, if you get my drift.
Kind of hurts his chances if they want to swap him out, but I think Vance Joseph does address that. But again, not a good situation for Chad Kelly, but
according to Broncos president of football operations, general manager John
took a while to get there.
Well, I know. I just kind of. Anyway, we are very, very disappointed in Chad.
Yeah, blah blah blah.
Yeah. When the team has to
I
get
doubt
together,
he even came up with that.
When the team has to get together, that's always a good thing, and the camaraderie that goes along with being a team. One person put a dent in it. We're going to look into this. The charges are very, very serious. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
They are.
Again, he got arrested, so you obviously have to take it. But, I mean, what comes of this? Suspension, fines, probably. Who knows at this point in time. But I think, if anything, it does hurt Chad Kelly's options of – I think, for whatever reason, if Case Keenum does get injured, Chad Kelly has to be your backup. I mean, he has to be the go-to guy. But does it now with this? Is that something that they – put as a possible punishment of, well, Chad, with what you did there, again, inexcusable, maybe you're not our backup for one game or something like that. Maybe you're not going to be that potential starter if Case Keenum is injured for whatever reason, or
you
if
might
we need
want
to go
direct them to the nearest AA office. You know, I mean, no, I'm just that story when I saw it, I went, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, oops, Chad Kelly in a little trouble.
Just more bad news for the Denver Broncos again. Off of this season is will things again. You got your monster victory on Thursday night against the Arizona Cardinals. Congrats! Everyone's going to kind of
Kansas City this week.
Yeah, good luck. That is not going to happen. You're not upsetting that team in Kansas City. There's no chance at all for the Broncos to get that victory. But again, if the Broncos have a shot, and I don't even know what the line is on this one, I would say that Kansas City's got to be favored at least by a touchdown. But in order for the Broncos to win this game on the road, and granted it is that AFC West, the teams know each other. There is a slight rivalry. It's not Broncos Raiders, but again, it does date back to quite some time. Broncos, I kind of put them on that same level as what we were talking earlier with the Central High Indians. You got to play near perfect ball to probably beat this team. Sure, you were competitive at home. Again, you're at home, though, in Denver. Yes, it is very tough to win at Mile High Stadium, but now you're in their territory. Again, a Kansas City team that's showing that they're not slowing down anytime soon. They're going to probably.
If Patrick Mahomes fires the BBs that he shot the other night at Cincinnati, do you really think that the Broncos are going to be able to stop this kid?
No.
No way.
Why should they? And again, that 10 points.
Case Keenum's going to be running for his life.
I think that 10 points is absolutely fair.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Brendan, in the NFL, you anticipate it's a 4-point, 3-point, kind of small. It's nothing outrageous like what it is in NCAA where you get those mismatches. But this is a mismatch. This defense is the same. It's not the no-fly zone clearly anymore. Patrick Mahomes should toss up a few touchdowns at home, just cruise over that defense. And again, Case Keenum, sure, he'll put points on the board. He'll do what he does averagely and just kind of cruise to another loss. Again, Case Keenum, he's not that savior for this team. He's clearly showing it. Even where now with this offense, we have trade talks of, is Demaryius Thomas on the move? Are the Broncos going to be aggressive and try to bolster this offense, add new pieces, or if, again, who knows if they just stand pat? Because Demaryius Thomas right now is showing that I don't know what's wrong. He is not the same wideout as he was years ago, and is that something that's showing that he's aging? I don't think that's the case. But is it just not translating well between him and Case Keenum? Again, there's something clearly.
Well, obviously, you have to admit with Case Keenum, his favorite target is Emmanuel Sanders. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Is Demaryius Thomas showing age? I don't think so. I'm not going to go that far. Demaryius Thomas has just been on a how do I? We
don't have the time for you to think.
I know, but he's almost. Well, that's exactly. It's almost like he's just not there in Denver. You know what I mean? He's just.
Anyways, though, as we need to take a break and get to that at least interview, or at least that post at the press conference by Vance Joseph, because again he went about for 10 minutes, so we'll tune in and hear what he has to say about the upcoming matchup with Kansas City. So we might need to get to that because our guest will be in.
All right. Well, real quick, I just want to say Thomas said he has seen the report the Broncos are listening to trade offers from several teams after a tough start to the season when Thomas had 5 drops In the first 2 games, he has had just 1 in the past 5 games. So he's really putting his mind to playing football for Denver. All righty, we're going to take a timeout. We come back. It's Vance Joseph time as he steps up to the microphone after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Hop into the KRAE Time Machine each Monday through Thursday for the golden age of radio, featuring famous radio classics such as Jack Armstrong and Suspense Theater, along with pioneers in the entertainment industry like Bob Hope and Abbott and Costello, along with many other performers who've captured our ears many, many years ago. Join us for the golden age of radio Monday through Thursday, 8 until 10 p.m. on 1480 KRAE, also 101.1 FM, and you can also stream all of our programming on 1480krae.com.
Taco John's presents Olay the Day Pep Talks.
All right, good half of football, boys. Now, good is good, but we can always be better. Look at Taco John's. They took those tasty little potato lays and loaded them up with bacon and ranch and all kinds of good stuff. They made something good even better.
Taco John's new loaded potato olays are loaded with craveable toppings for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and even dessert.
So olay the day, boys, and play like you're making loaded potato lays.
Olay the day at Taco John's.
What do Wyoming's energy resources have to do with our schools, our first responders, our roads and bridges, and our highway safety? The federal government was supposed to split abandoned mine land coal fees with Wyoming, but Washington did what it does best. They kept the AML money and stiffed Wyoming, shorting us by hundreds of millions of dollars. John Barrasso used his experience and leadership position to get back what Washington stole from us. In the process, he taught Washington, D.C. a thing or two about fairness and honor and how we do things here in the West. And the money we were owed? It's money to help make our roads safer and help our communities succeed. John fought for all of us with the courage to do what's right and the commitment to see it through. John Barrasso for Wyoming.
I'm John Barrasso, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Friends of John Barrasso. BarrassoForWyoming.com.
Feeling that cool Wyoming breeze in the early morning? That means fall is here, and our Wyoming winter is close behind. So now's the time to make sure your furnace is in good repair. And Marv's Plumbing and Heating, 1515 Logan Avenue is the place to go. Marv's trained technicians can inspect, repair, and replace your furnace and boiler and are available 24/7. Freezing temperatures in Wyoming can happen at any time. No one wants to shiver in their own home. Don't get the chills. Stay cozy. Call Marv's Plumbing and Heating at 316-7634 today.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 59 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15. And for tonight, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 63. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 37.
Tired of lazy and predictable sports talk radio? We know you are. This is Cheyenne's new sports radio home. It's Wyoming Sports Talk Today, and it's right here on AM 1480 KRAE.
As far as the injuries, guys, from the game, Darren Stewart, he's progressing along. He's day to day. We'll see about him as far as the neck issue. Royce Freeman with a high ankle sprain, same there. He's been here all weekend getting treatment, so we'll see how he feels as the week moves along. And Deshaun Hamilton with a right knee MCL sprain, same thing. Day to day. Questions?
Vince, if Devontae has a bigger role going forward, do you seem to be energized by that?
Devontae? Yes, I mean he wants to play more, obviously, and right now we've got three good young backs, and he's played more on third downs, but he absolutely wants more opportunities. So, if it happens, he's ready for it, I should say.
Do you expect Belvedere, Pac-Man, and Shane to practice Wednesday?
I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful with that. I think Jarrett is doing well. He's getting better daily. I think Pac-Man is ready to play. He should practice on Wednesday. Who's my third guy? And Shane Ray, we'll see. He's progressing along also, so we'll see about him. But Adam Jones for sure will practice on Wednesday.
It's that time of year when trade rumors pop up, and it involves a high-profile guy like Demarius. Yeah. How do you deal with that from your end?
I don't. I really don't. It's rumors. It's gossip. It's doesn't matter to our football team really. Our only concern is the Chiefs, and that's on Sunday. But this time of the year, it's You know, I watch the games on Sunday. Obviously, it's a lot of rumors out there, a lot of gossip, and a lot of content for different shows. So until those things happen, you know, we can't address them or worry about them.
You sit with John every day, though. Does he convey any of that to you?
He has not. He has not. You know, that makes it rumor, that makes it gossip, and that makes it, right now, something that we can't worry about.
So do you talk to any of the guys that have been mentioned, or do you just let that be?
I don't have to. You know, our entire month has been full of noise and gossip and rumors. You know, so that's part of it. You know, that's part of this job. And you know, players get it, but again, it's gossip and it's rumors.
Off the Thursday night game, how do you help the team play a consistent brand of football Sunday?
Well, you know, I would hope, you know, winning that football game, you know, how we won it, would help the guys understand that that's the key to our success, is to play good, clean football and to practice that way all week and to obviously play that way, you know. But I think winning helps, especially the young guys, understand, you know, how do you prep for NFL games? How do you play for NFL games? That helps when you win. You know, when you don't win those games, it's kind of hard to push your point, you know, on how to win games. But when you win, it does help. So we'll see how we work this week.
How do they got it going? I mean, they're scoring 40, 35, 40 plus more.
You mean the Chiefs?
The Chiefs.
Yeah.
What is it? Is it the quarterback? I mean, we've been through this before. I guess scheme.
I think it's all of it. You know, they've got a quarterback who's hot right now. He's playing at a high level. They've got 4 or 5 weapons that's tough to cover, and I think the running back Kareem Hunt, you know, makes it all go, because you can't simply ignore that guy. I mean, our game, he made most of the big plays, honestly. You know, I mean, he's a guy that runs downhill. He catches the ball in a pass game, so he's tough out. You know, in both parts of the run and pass. Obviously with Tyreek Hill, I mean, he's a super fast guy that's hard to cover vertically. The tight end Kelsey, he's special also as far as matchups with safeties and backers. Sammy Watkins, who's a top 10 pick, he's their 4th option. So they've got some players, right? So, you know, and obviously the scheme with Coach Reed, I mean, it's a complicated scheme. It's different with every personnel group. You know, if you see him in 2 back, it looks like NFL football. You see him with 2 tight ends, it looks like NFL football. But, you know, once he goes to three wide receivers, 1 back, 1 tight, it looks like college football. So it's a combination of good players and good scheme and, you know, players making plays. But again, you know, it's going to be a nice challenge for us. We're looking forward to it.
Week 4 game, what did you learn about what physically it takes to match up with them? Because there's so much motion before. You know, Chris Harris had to go out and get IVs during the game, which we've never seen him have to do that. Yeah. So what did you learn about maybe the challenge of what it's going to take physically to match up with them?
It's a lot of moving parts, you know, and you have to have every group ready to play. When you play the Rams, I mean, it's a sub game, right? I mean, they're in 3 wides every snap, and that's pretty easy as far as, you know, how you sub and how you play. But this team is in 2 tight ends, they're in 2 backs, they're in 3 wides, they're in no backs, they're in 4 wides with 1 back. So that's challenging to obviously match every group they have. And, you know, as far as the players, I mean, everything's vertical, it's deep over. So for the corners, it's a marathon of a game. So they have to be, you know, mentally ready to be challenged vertically every play. You know, if you're not, they can score 50 points on you. So, but our guys get it. You know, we've played them once, that helps. And we'll go back and see what worked and what didn't work and kind of make the proper adjustments.
For the second time, do they tend to do the same sort of thing, or are there changes typically?
There'll be some tweaks on both sides, you know, and we did a pretty good job on them, you know, for the most part. You know, I would say, you know, for 3.5 quarters, it was a pretty close game, and then, you know, half of a quarter they made some plays and we didn't. So we felt good about our plan going in, but obviously it's going to change, and to do it again, that makes it difficult. So to have a good plan and to actually go do it again, that's going to be hard to do. So we'll see.
Yeah. Relationship with Eric Bieniemy, how much do you see his fingerprints? Obviously, it's an Andy Reid team, but him as the OC. Can you?
I think the mindset, you know, on how they play, you know, I mean, it's a fearless group. And that's EB. I mean, he's a tough guy. He's fearless. And to hear his players talk about him, you can tell his mindset's being pushed on that football team. You watch Kareem Hunt, how he plays and runs. I mean, that's EB's mindset. So he's definitely pushing those guys to be a tough, dominant football team, and you can see it how they play.
2 strip sacks, just the way he got to the quarterback was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
What is it about him? Why is he able so consistently to be able to get to the quarterback and knock the ball out?
I think Von's a special player. I mean, he's got special ability, but I think as Von's grown as a player, I mean, he gets the full aspect of being a pass rusher, not just speed or power. I mean, he's setting guys up, he's using certain moves, he's attacking your weaknesses. That's what Von's done the last couple of years since I've been here. But once he gets there, he wants the ball. It's a shame that you watch some young pass rushers. They win their one-on-one and the ball's exposed and they just tackle the quarterback. So Von gets it. Getting the ball, that's huge. And he honestly had 3. He had 3 sack forced fumbles, and one was obviously called an incomplete pass. But he's good at that. So once he wins and we can get a lead on teams and we can turn Von and Chubb loose, that's our formula to win games. So it's fun to see him do it.
Have you seen more for the coach?
Yeah.
Andy Janovich get used in a lot of different formations. Great as a blocker in the pass game, the 30-yarder against Kansas City. Is he playing like a Pro Bowler in your mind as the midway point approach this year?
As a fullback, I think he is. I mean, you find one better than him. I mean, I would be hard pressed to find a guy better than him who blocks, who catches the football, who plays, as a core team on teams. I mean, that's a special guy in my opinion. So, I would vote for him.
Coach, we're at the middle of the season right now, of the regular season, and you guys are dealing with injuries, etc. If he was pressed into duty, is Chad Kelly ready for regular season action? And as a coaching staff, would you trust him to win a game?
Is he ready as far as being pressed in duty because of injury, you're saying? I would hope so. He's our backup, and he won that job fair and square. So if he had to play for us, if you're playing your backup quarterback, you're playing different anyway, right? You're running the ball more, maybe using more of concept that he's good at. So we'll see. It hadn't happened yet, but if he had to play, I would trust Chad to play for us. And
Coach, you used 11 personnel last week going up against Arizona, and you brought Justin Simmons down into the slot, and that really helped out your run defense. Will you employ something similar this week going up against Kansas City, especially something that they would like to use?
We'll see. Every game's different. Every game plan's different. But, obviously giving up that 200 yards rushing to one guy the week before, we had to do something defensively to kind of slow the run game down. So playing more base helped us do that versus the Cardinals. But we'll see how this week proceeds.
Last one, Nikki.
Justin Simmons has played every defensive snap this season.
Yeah.
Is this what you envision in moving him up in the starting role?
He's done a good job for us, and he's obviously been healthy enough to play every snap, and that's half the battle. But he's a good football player. He's very smart. He allows us to, play some base versus 3 wides because he can cover the slot for the most part. So he's a guy that's valuable to us as a leader. As a guy that can cover slots and a guy who's a good blitzer and plays the ball from the high zone. So he's definitely a good football player for us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. All right. Enjoy your day.
Sales and Service is offering you a hail of a deal on a wide variety of travel trailers, including toy haulers. Get up to an additional 50% off MSRP on Jolly Roger's already low prices. Check out their new and used inventory. Damaged or not, you can still travel in style. Call Jolly Roger's RV Sales and Service today, your exclusive Jayco dealer, at 634-8457. See them at 6102 U.S. Highway 30 or go to jollyrogersrv.com.
The next time you have a craving for authentic Mexican cuisine, visit Hacienda Guadalajara at 317 East Lincoln Way. Locally owned and operated, they serve their dishes with family tried and true recipes with the freshest of ingredients, made to order. Start off your meal with their complimentary chips, salsa, and bean dip. And if you're feeling adventurous, enjoy your favorite margarita or cerveza. Hacienda Guadalajara, where the spice is always nice.
Check out the huge savings this week at Town & Country Supermarket Liquors. Here are just a few of the terrific weekly specials. Our Super Buys, heard only right here, features Patron Silver Tequila, 750 milliliter bottle, $32.99. Dos Equis Lager, Amber, or Beers of Mexico, 12-pack, 12-ounce bottles or cans, $13.59. And Jameson Irish Whiskey, 750 milliliter bottle, $16.99. Town and Country Supermarket Liquors on the South Greeley Highway, Cheyenne's low price leader.
Capital Lumber is number one in Cheyenne. Are you listening? We're all the lumber store you'll ever need.
For over 50 years, Capital Lumber Company has offered a full line of hardware and lumber selections. Plenty of materials, even for the do-it-yourselfer. So talk with one of the many experts today at Capital Lumber Company. Capital Lumber Company is the best in the region, and they are your true value hardware store. Lumber One in Cheyenne. Capital Lumber Company at 1222 Dunn Avenue.
When it comes to sports talk in Cheyenne, it's a whole new ball game. Let's play ball! You're listening to Wyoming Sports Talk today, and it's only here on AM 1480 KRAE.
Welcome back to Wyoming Sports Talk today. Cheyenne Stampede time as we look for greener pastures.
I'm so proud of you that you don't call them the Wyoming Stampede anymore.
I know. I call them the Cheyenne Stampede. And Neil Breen joins us. We'll also be joined by Bryan Waters coming up here in a little bit, part of that Idaho connection that is here in Cheyenne, skating on our squad.
And on top of that as well, too, we'll be giving away a pair of tickets to go see the home and home coming up this weekend as Cheyenne Stampede at home this Friday, taking on the Northern Colorado Eagles. They will also face the Colorado Eagles down in Greeley coming up this weekend. So,
Coach!
Yeah.
Rough weekend. Three tough ones up in the Oil City.
Yeah.
The boys, and Nick made a very good point when he was talking to Bryan off there. Last year at this time, they were all blowouts.
Yeah.
These, as a coach, and again, too, nobody likes L's. But doggone it, you as a coach got to be scratching, what's left of the solid part of your head, going, doggone it, what do we got to do to get that W? Because we're close, but we can't grab the biscuit yet.
Yeah, I mean, you can chalk a lot of it up to, as we talked about it last week, lack of experience, and we got some holes defensively that we're each night our D zone gets better. Our scrum work gets better, but we have to get 60 minutes out of all of our clientele in order for that to operate effectively. And what we're getting now is we're getting production out of a certain group of guys and not a certain group of other guys at any given night. Or maybe it's this group and a few other guys, and then there's a small group of guys we're not getting that that production and that the tactics done the right way and the D zone done the right way and so on. So
well, and also too, this is not like high school football or college football. You can't go both ways. I mean, you just can't have the same six guys on the ice. It doesn't work. You got to have 2-3 shifts behind them. And correct me if I'm wrong, what is the average length of time on the ice? Maybe 90 seconds, if that?
Yeah, I mean, ideal shift length is like 40 to 50 seconds. So, when you got two lines going and maybe a pairing and a half, that wears those guys down, and then you start to make, more mistakes and things like that. So, we're kind of in a position now where we need to acquire some more depth so that we can roll more clientele and not lose those tactics because of being tired. And
how much is that an option, though, with your team, if for whatever reason those pieces that you at least have the benefit of bringing into the Cheyenne Stampede family, but if you weren't able to do that, is it a situation where you could kind of look at, for instance, like a Bryan Waters of saying, hey, you're a forward right now, you're an offensive guy, but maybe let's try and convert you. I see you have skills to possibly help us out on this defense if it's kind of a dire situation. Is that something that you could do throughout a season of
absolutely
at least have that option of trying to convert them to at least help on that side?
For sure. We're already doing it with Hakan Salt. Like he's kind of filled that position for us before. Because another area, so we're a very scrum heavy. And when I say scrum, just for our listeners, like we try to create scrums on the boards so we can control sort of what's happening in our zone. If we can freeze the puck up and create those scrums and work off of those scrums to get pucks out and north, then we're doing our job. And we did it a lot better this weekend. But when you don't have everybody on the same page, sometimes that can be a tough thing to do. Like I require a lot of detail in the D zone that some guys can't really. They're not there yet. Let's just say that. And
what do we see in that D zone as we're by the net or as we're dropping back on defense? What are you seeing that is allowing these teams to get that shot through the goaltender?
Yeah, it's just a scenario where we're not tight enough on our details, right? We're not, we should be a stick and a half away from this guy versus 2 stick lengths. Like our gap control needs to be tighter. Our, gap control meaning our positioning from how far we are from the guy that has the puck. Right?
And first thing that came to my mind would be basketball, where they're being muscled inside. The guy going for the rebound. It seems to me that's what's happening too, is that your guys are getting muscled around the crease.
Yeah, so then what happens if you have a defensive breakdown outside of the dots or outside of on the outside of the rink within a rink, if you will. If we're getting beat on those battles, and our second layer or our third layer isn't is caught flat-footed, then it's real easy to penetrate offensively for the other teams. But at the same token, we're getting so much better at that, right? And then unfortunately, then we have some goalie lapses, so like we're kind of suffering through some defensive breakdowns, but at the same time we're learning from them and improving on them as we go, because we're not as old as we'd like to be, but as far as age and experience goes, but and that's going to take some time for some of these guys to play that way. It's more of a pro style of approaching the game versus what a lot of these guys come from, like youth hockey. You know what I'm saying?
It's essentially of just kind of taking it baby steps at a time. Again, with this team of at least to kind of reiterate to the fans, or at least again Stampede kind of followers, of just saying, hey, with this team, the record kind of indicates of where it is, but it is slow progress, and it's going to eventually pay off in dividends, at least throughout this season.
But also, too, in your case, Coach, you have a group of kids that you have recruited. And, again, they have not all played together. Right. But, we've got about, 8 games under our belt right now. And I kind of liken it to now I'm going to go, keep it in the basketball mode, like with the Wyoming Cowboys. They got 10 new kids this year. And again, too, they're all great shooters, but we don't know how well they can play on defense. And that's what you have to do. You have to start finding your niche with your team. Which lines are going to be your strongest? But again, you got to put out a strong line every time. You can't throw out one that's weak, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's kind of and that, like I said, we're working on acquiring some pieces, some more guys, and to give us a little bit more depth, and that's going to help with that. Just on overall, like when you're tired out there and you get hemmed up in the zone, and then you got to jump right back out there, mistakes get made, and we have, like to your point about Waters. I mean, he's a strong two-way forward. He's been strong for us all year on both sides of the puck. He had a great weekend, I feel like, and pretty much the majority of the games that he's played for us, he's been great. And he is a guy that I could convert to a defenseman, but I wouldn't do that because he's too valuable to us up front. Hakan Salt is valuable to us up front, but he knows how to play the defensive game because of last year. And so that's another piece that we can add back there to help us get our pucks to our guys like Waters or like Glow, or like get the pucks to Jeremy Velasquez, and and that's kind of one of the other things we're struggling with is just getting that pass to our forwards so we can do what we do best, which is play from the red line down.
Let's keep on that theme with Bryan Waters, as we'll talk with him here in a few short minutes. But this past weekend, 3 goals, 2 assists against the Casper Bobcats. To hype up a little bit for Bryan as he's here in studio with us, but just talk about the kind of recruiting process, what you saw in him and why you wanted him to kind of play for the Cheyenne Stampede.
Yeah, when I first went to the academy out in Idaho to coach, he was one of the first players I recognized because of his tenacity and his grit and his toughness, and on top of that he has a good amount of skill, and those are the players that typically jump out to me first because they always are the most valuable players on your team. Despite how many points a guy puts up, if he can't play on the other side of the puck, it can be problematic. So Bryan's always been that way for me. He was like that for me for a year and a half, and then when I moved on, I was sad to, he kind of made a commitment to stay there at the academy, and I couldn't bring him with me, but I stayed on him because I knew that there was going to be an opportunity to get him my way when push came to shove, and he's a guy that comes right in. He's already playing in the youth midget AAA out there. He's already a junior style hockey player. I mean, he embodies that. So he's not afraid to drop the gloves. He's not really afraid of anything, to be honest. And those are the types of guys that'll help you win championships. So I stayed on him as much as I could until the time came, and of course when that time came and I gave him a call, he was like, "Right on, Breener. I'm coming to play for you."
Well, we're certainly happy he's a part of the Cheyenne Stampede family.
Coach, and I'm almost the bad guy in these things, but you're judged on W's and L's, and we, the natives sometimes get a little restless. What are you doing right now to circle the wagons? I mean, what? You can see the forest through the trees, and that's what we were talking about earlier when we had a chance to talk to Bryan. From the past to now, so it's almost like you're reaching for it, but it's just a little bit out of your reach right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's just breakdowns. It's things that we're changing up a little bit of what we do on our attacks. We're sussing out our neutral zone a little bit. We're approaching that a little bit differently, and we're still kind of staying the course on our D zone, making some adjustments in the back end. Like I said, we converted Hakan Salt back to a defenseman, so we got another guy back there that can handle the puck a little better. And then from there, we're working on bringing in new clientele so that we can kind of come to battle where there's guys that have suits on for games, so that lights a fire under the rest of the guys to be more on their details and work harder in practice and things like that. I mean, we're kind of at 23 where guys are feeling a little safe. And that's kind of not where I plan to be, at this point. I was hoping to be closer to that 30 number of players. We had a few guys drop out, late going into early in the season, and that happens, and it's just a matter of, pushing the pedal to the metal on getting these new guys in.
Coach, I can see this vision right now. It's almost like a toddler getting that first tooth, and then the second and the third one comes. I mean, can you vision that? It's like, let's get that first victory in, and then it's like it's going to blossom throughout the rest of the season.
I mean, I'm seeing, like you made seeing the forest through the trees. I mean, I see it. I mean, I see our guys, some of our younger guys transitioning into where they need to be, like a Nelson. Dawson Nelson has really been a great player for us. He's starting to understand, and he's buying into our systems, and our other guys are kind of still adapting to playing a new style, and so and you're seeing it. You're seeing our D zone get better, and to me it's obvious. Like some of these goals that are being scored on us are fluky, and they're soft goals, a couple soft goals in on our goaltenders, which we're not responding to maturely, where a goal goes in and the wind goes out of our sails, versus us taking that goal to heart and saying, oh, we got to work harder to come back and respond to a little bit adversity a little bit better. So I'm seeing those things, and I'm hoping that our fans see that we're 100% better than last year. But now, in order to get guys here, when you only have 2 wins, you're not going to get all of the 10 bell guys. You're going to get the guys that, that need to learn the game a little bit yet. And so it's a learning process. And we always make that statement: trust the process. It's, we're getting there. And I think we should have had those games against Casper. I felt like, you look at the shot charts, we definitely, we were all over them, and they just capitalized on a lot of our mistakes, and that's what's happening pretty much every game thus far, is we're beating these guys up on shots, on physicality, on good plays. And what's happening is our mistakes are compiling, and we're getting, other teams are taking advantage.
You
of
show
us.
your age on the ice.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think, if a true sports enthusiast, whether it be hockey or whatever, can see these things, and I'm hoping that our fans can kind of see that we're working towards it, and it's going to get there. I mean, it's early yet. 8 games is not very many games. There's a lot of time to make up.
Well, we encourage fans coming up this Friday against Stampede at home at the Ice and Event Center, taking on the Northern Colorado Eagles. Again, 7:35 puck drop over there at the Ice and Event Center. Go see the Cheyenne Stampede take on Northern Colorado
And
Eagles.
when we come back after the break, you're going to give away some tickets for the Fishbowl of Awesomeness?
Well, we could probably talk to Bryan and then give away those
We
tickets.
could do whatever you want to do. You run the show. I just sit here and just talk. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We'll come back with more of our Cheyenne Stampede show. Thank you again to Coach Breen for updating us on what's going on with the Stamps, and we'll be back after these words right here on 1480 KRAE.
Totally transformed. The new 2019 Kia Soul has an eye-catching exterior with an interior to match. I'm AJ Miller for Kia of Cheyenne, and the new 2019 Kia Soul has more to choose from, like available cool ventilated seats or heated seats for winter comfort. Kia Soul also has available technology like UVO, voice command navigation, automatic temperature control, and smart key with push-button start. Come by and compare Kia Soul today at Kia of Cheyenne or go to KiaofCheyenne.com and we'll make it easy.
When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think authentic Italian. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think made fresh from scratch. When you say Mondello Pizzeria, think great pizza, delicious Philly cheesesteak, superb hot and cold Italian sandwiches, meatballs, sausage, and special subs, calzones, crisp salads, and great service. When you say Mondello's Pizzeria, think unmatched Italian taste. Mondello's Pizzeria, 1507 Stillwater Avenue, your only true Italian stop for lunch or dinner.
Let First Education Federal Credit Union help make buying your next car a breeze. At First Education, you get competitive rates and deal with friendly local folks. Be in control by getting pre-approved and know what you have to spend before going to the dealer. Call 432-7400, go to firstedfcu.com, or visit us in person at 120 West Carlson Street with approved credit, membership eligibility required, federally insured by NCUA.
At Medicap Pharmacy, we concentrate on nothing but your medications and your health. Each location is a locally owned, full-service neighborhood pharmacy. We won't make you walk through aisles and aisles of stuff or wait in a long line. Instead, we'll always make time for you by listening, answering your questions, and explaining your prescriptions.
Medicap Pharmacy, we'll always make time for you.
Medicap Pharmacy, 1947 Bluegrass Circle, next to Texas Roadhouse in Cheyenne. Or call 635-3712.
Here's the latest weather forecast on 1480 KRAE.
For today, it'll be mostly cloudy with highs around 59 and winds out of the south at 10 to 15. And for tonight, it'll continue to be mostly cloudy with lows around 39. On Wednesday, it'll be partly sunny with highs around 63. And on Wednesday night, it'll be partly cloudy with lows around 37.
You're listening to Cheyenne's new Sports Talk Authority. This is Wyoming Sports Talk Today on AM 1480 KRAE.
Well, we don't want to throw your biological clock off. Stampede show is usually on Wednesday, but the Nixter is going to be gone. This is going to be our last program for the week. Don't forget high school football coming up on Friday night. I will be in Gillette. It will be the Thunder Basin Bolts and the Cheyenne Central Indians quarterfinals of the Class 4A playoffs. We welcome in our next guest, Bryan Waters, who we have alluded to during the program with Coach Breen. Part of the Idaho connection. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Bryan. You're from what part of Idaho?
Yeah, I'm from Boise, Idaho. I moved up to Coeur d'Alene, Idaho after the last 4 seasons of Coeur d'Alene Hockey Academy.
And when we want to get this out to the folks here in the city, it's nice to be in Cheyenne, but there's not a lot of things to do for you, right?
Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. There's not very much to do but go to the movies or go in the bowling alley, or just hanging out at home or just hockey.
And now, how old are you?
I'm 19.
19. Are you still doing school, or okay? So you is there more school in your future?
You know, I've thought about it. You know, I'm still making my choices about that. You know, me and Breen have talked a little bit about it, but other than that, I don't know yet.
Is that something with being here in Cheyenne, again, not a whole lot of things to do, but is it something where as a player, and again, as we're talking with Coach Breen of trying to hone skills or at least try to advance your careers to continue on playing hockey, do you kind of see yourself, or at least see that as an advantage maybe of where there aren't outside distractions? You could focus on hockey going, oh, well, you know, I can't do anything, but hey, here's the skating rink, or I can practice my skills.
Yeah, definitely. No, we you know, we work out in the afternoon. We get some extra time. We got some time in the morning if we want. Or most of the boys work too, so that's something we can also.
Are you hot and heavy into the weight room as well too? Are you into, you know, lifting and what have you, building up the upper body strength? You know, because again, obviously you don't want the big boys bashing into the boards, right? Especially when you got the puck.
No. You know, yeah, I do focus on that. We do. You know, we do a little bit of jiu-jitsu, but that's something I'm really into. I've always been into since I was a little kid. Yeah, you know, doing everything with the plates, it's just, you know, you got to bear down and do it with your team. So, I mean, yeah, I take full advantage of it.
Let's talk about your play style with the Cheyenne Stampede. Is there any player, whether it is old, new, or part of the NHL, or, again, any league, is there any player that you kind of looked up to or at least try to mimic your play style?
Yeah, you know, since I was little, I've always I've looked up to Alex Ovechkin. I just love the way he grinds, you know, and gets through everything, and you know the way his shot is like I've always wanted. And I don't know, I just love the way his mindset is always go go go, and he don't stop, and no one stops him in front of him. So
favorite team?
I think it's paid evidence though for Bryan. Again, right. He's an offensive presence for the Stampede. But yeah, favorite team? Are we going with the Capitals?
No, you know I'm a Blackhawks fan. You know, but that's just one guy.
You just want everybody to be a Ducks fan or a Vegas Golden Knights fan,
Why
right?
Not? Why not? But I'm just saying, there's a heated rivalry.
Blackhawks got a lot of history, and as a matter of fact, here in the 2000s, I think they've hauled down a couple of Stanley Cups.
They've owned my Anaheim team, but we won't say anything more about that. But I mean, looking at least for you, Bryan, at least once you are done with your time here with the Cheyenne Stampede, is it something that you're looking to possibly get into minors, continue on with a college program? I mean, what do you envision, at least yourself, say for like the next 5 years?
You know, if hockey keeps going the way it sounds like it's going, I would love to play in the minors. The minors would be definitely. I mean, you can be practically made pro in a way. You know, you make some type of good money, but you know, hockey's not a forever thing. You know, so you also have to have a backup plan. That I think, you know. So, but I've always looked into like diesel mechanics. My mom's a truck driver, so.
Oh, okay.
So.
You know, another thing, too, and we don't ask this question enough, and we should ask this of Coach Breener as well. Have you ever entertained, because, you know, I always think of the movie with Kurt Russell doing the old Herb Brooks, you know, Miracle. You know, and I'm thinking, I mean, would that be something, too, that, hey, if that chance comes about and you get an invite to Colorado Springs, is Olympics something that you would be interested in?
Oh, yeah, definitely. That's huge.
Now, again, too, when I think of the Olympics, obviously you got guys from all over the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Collegiate and what have you. But just by being in this particular hockey league, how much does that give you a benefit or a leg up on some of the younger guys that are just going through the collegiate programs right now? Because technically, you would be, in your last year as you age out, you would be a sophomore in college, technically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it give you a little bit of an advantage because you are playing where a lot of these guys are not playing as much?
Yeah, there's a lot of kids that just go straight out of high school and go play college. You know, playing junior hockey it's a lot of kids' dreams. You know, and a lot of kids just like to get their junior hockey and, you know, stick to it. And then once college comes, you know, or pro, you know, so a lot of kids go to the WHL, you know, so there's a lot of choices.
I mean, you got some dreams, and, and hopefully, like you said, there's always something you can fall back on. Nick, go ahead, wrap it up here.
Absolutely. So again, at least for Bryan, thank you for at least coming by the show today. Again, wish you all the best of luck in your career, at least here with the Cheyenne Stampede. Again, hopefully we pick up the victory coming up this Friday. It's Northern Colorado Eagles. So I do want to take this opportunity to at least, again, thank you to all on the Facebook side who entered to win a pair of tickets to go see the Cheyenne Stampede at home this Friday, 7:35 puck drop. Also to a little goodies to go see our friends over at Chick-fil-A, the corner of Delrange and Windmill. So what we do as we do with the Cowboy tickets, what we'll be doing for the Cheyenne Stampede and any other ticket giveaways. Again, we'll go back to that fishbowl of awesomeness really quickly here to see who will be our winner. And it will be Tony Gonzalez. Not the Hall of Fame, not the Hall of Famer, hopefully, of the Kansas City Chiefs, but Tony Gonzalez.
Never know. He might have entered the contest. I mean, we are popular across the U.S.
I think if I remember correctly, he did wear on his profile pic on Facebook a Kansas City Chiefs jersey. So
well, we'll forgive him for that.
If anything, if it's the actual Tony Gonzalez, we'll have to bring him in an interview.
Oh, absolutely.
Anyways, all right.
Future Hall of Famer. All righty. So congratulations to Tony. You and the guest to be our guest. Thank you to Cheyenne Stampede.
At least your guest, because I won't be here, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I'm going to be up in Gillette. I drew I drew the small straw. Anyway, I would rather be at the Ice and Event Center. So thank you again to Mark Lance. Thank you to Coach Breen. And again, Bryan Waters, thank you so much for joining us here on Wyoming Sports Talk today. We are done for the next couple of days. Matter of fact, you can hang around, see if we can challenge you a little bit here. We're going to be back on Monday. You are off to California.
Oh, yeah.
And we will commence with the program Monday afternoon. The best of the 50s and 60s musically on the way this evening from 8 until 10.